Before we start this video, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to the staking dashboard at the address you'll find here. And I want you to start scrolling through the validators, looking particularly at the commission fees that they charge. Because as you scroll down, you'll find one that's charging 100%. 100%! Damn! Now, normally this is the cue for a ton of millennial outrage and a bunch of expletives.
Okay, that is it!
Calling these guys out for being greedy, etc., etc., etc. But if we take a closer look, we will see that this particular validator is Sesameseed. And the whole point of this video is to show you that Sesameseed is actually kind of cool.
Wow.
But before we get into any of that, can I just ask you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, that is how we're going to persuade that pesky YouTube algorithm to take more notice. Thank you. If you've been following Harmony for a while, then you will be, of course, very familiar with the concept of staking. But in case you're not, you can get the skinny on what it's all about by clicking here. Basically, commit tokens to a wallet or delegate them to a validator and earn rewards commensurate with your level of staking power. And this is what Sesameseed does. They set up and run validators, participating in staking and earning rewards across a number of different blockchains, including Tron, Ontology, and Harmony. But what's cool is the way they built what is effectively a staking derivative product on top of this in the shape of their own token, Seed, which allows them to run their own community, their own ecosystem, and manage their own governance, funding projects, rewarding participants, creating additional incentives, and combining the earnings from all the chains they're connected to into one very elegant tokenized package. Simply put, this is staking on steroids. In the Sesameseed ecosystem, everything revolves around the Seed token. Sesameseed earns rewards for producing blocks on multiple chains, and the majority of those rewards are giving back to the Sesameseed community as Seed tokens. The value of Seed is pegged to the value of the rewards earned. And here's the thing, you might only be staking TRX tokens, but the rewards you earn will reflect the value of the entire staking pool across all the chains Sesameseed is staking on. So your TRX token is drawing additional staking power without you having to do anything.
First of all, I have to compliment you for your physical development because you really look very athletic and good, so don't put yourself down.
You can redeem your Seed tokens at any time using the Sprout staking wallet, which is Sesameseed's own dedicated dashboard, and in return, you will receive the value of the pegged tokens represented by your Seed in proportion to the peg itself. So Ontology, ONG, TRX, and 1. And you can find the current makeup and value of the peg by pinging the bot in Telegram or via the Sprout wallet itself. The Seed token itself is then burned forever, so it's gone.
It's gone. It's all gone.
It's worth bearing in mind that not only was Seed the first HRC20 token on Harmony, it was also the first token created on the Tron mainnet, and the team also created the first exchange on the Ontology blockchain. So these guys are builders, they get in early and they stay there. They're in for the long haul, and you can tell.
I guess ultimately it comes down to what the purpose of staking is itself, right? So when a blockchain comes in, right, and they offer staking, a way to incentivize their user, basically what they're saying is, hey, we're going to offer the inflation rate of our currency to the community in some method. So when they do that, they kind of want something back from that. They want some kind of return from that. They want the utilization of the network. They want more of their community to be affiliated with that network. They want the community to be more invested in what they're doing, to attract more developers, to build on that chain, etc. And so ultimately, if they're just simply offering that reward back, what happens is you tend to see maybe less community forming around concepts and more communities forming around strict returns. As soon as you say that this community is forming around strict financial return, what's happening is there's maybe less attention on things like what that representative or validator believes in, is building for, is contributing to what their actual actions are. And by having this token, this intermediary, this Seed token, what you're doing is you're not preventing them from receiving that reward, but you're stepping in and saying, hey, let's have a dialogue. Let's talk about what we're building here. let's take a second and understand this ecosystem. Let's take a second and understand what Harmony's intentions were when they offered this staking reward. I firmly believe that blockchains don't offer these kinds of rewards simply to provide a financial incentive, a way to buy people into using their blockchain. I think they're providing these rewards in the hopes that that community runs more transactions, builds on that blockchain, attracts developers, and et cetera. So I think that Seed token steps in and allows the room for that dialogue to happen.
So I had a question for you, which was, you have Seed token issued on Ontology and on Tron and on Harmony. Why do you have it issued on each of these different chains? Why not just have one chain that is the prime originator of the Seed token?
Well, because there's no way to do that fairly is kind of the real issue. So we started out on Tron, we issued Seed on Tron, and it was backed by Tron. And the backing is simple. It's just how much Tron we hold in our escrowed accounts, in our redeem value accounts, just divided by the circulating supply of Seed. So simple. It's very simple. So if there's 1,000 Tron in that account and there's 100 Seed in circulation, Seed is backed 10 Tron to 1. But as soon as we started to go onto these new blockchains, we earn those rewards on those chains. And the users that are participating, are voting, are staking, are on those chains. And so the only way to identify their rewards in a fair and decentralized way is to reward on that blockchain itself. So if you're voting with a Harmony address and I'm trying to reward you on Tron and Seed, we can do that, but it requires a centralization layer. It requires someone, even Sesameseed, to step in and say, hey, we're going to say this address is this address. And we have to decide that in a centralized fashion. There's no decentralized way to do that. Versus if we just say, hey, you voted with this address, we're going to reward Seed to this address on Harmony. That makes it very simple. Then we just need to ensure that we properly back the redeem value of Seed on all those chains properly, that we display that very publicly. And this is all something that we do in Sprout now. And that's why if you go into Sprout, you can actually see all of the Sesameseed addresses. You can see, you can take a look and say, hey, so Sesameseed has this escrow account, these escrow accounts on Tron, Ontology, Harmony, and you can see, okay, I know it's backed by that much because I can see it here. It's visible to me. So we're trying to break down the requirement of trust as much as we can, because really these things should be trustless. There should be no requirement to trust Sesameseed.
The prevailing perception of blockchain is that individual chains are islands alone in the sea, disconnected from each other, and most likely at war as well.
Like me.
Because there can be only one.
There can be only one.
And until robust interoperability protocols have been adopted across the board, you'd have to say that perception is kind of true.
You have to break through this pain barrier, otherwise you will never get there.
But projects like Sesameseed are the connecting tissue that brings projects closer together and gives token holders primarily even greater freedom to choose their own destiny. If you're arriving in crypto for the first time, it can feel like the only game in town is trading. And that can be quite difficult because you're jumping from one project to another. But for some, and I hope for the majority, the opportunity to find a community, to find a home, if you like, somewhere where you can play a part in a financial reality over which you have a lot more control than the one you do in real life. That's pretty appealing. And what I love about Sesameseed is they build, they're not just there for the money, and they're connected to a bunch of different chains, and they will be connected to many more. So that brings in multiple communities. It encourages dialogue between those communities. And that is a good thing.
So good.
Wow.
So that's it for this one. All the links you need will be in the description below. Be sure and subscribe if you're not already. And if you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button if that's what you're into. If you didn't like it, then maybe try watching them with some novelty glasses. Till next time. Peace! Now, normally this is the cue for a whole host of millennial outrage to come pouring out with words like, those guys, yeah, we don't want to have anything to do with them. We're recording. Ole, ole, ole.